Let's talk about something we all feel, deep down. That primal fear of being cast out, of losing your place in the tribe. It's a fear that kind of shapes everything, right? Our families, our schools, our careers. Today, we're going to pull that fear apart and see what it's made of.
There's this line from a song by El Cortero de Nos, and it's so powerful. No lo nombren. Don't name him. It perfectly captures that weird superstition and, let's be honest, that terror we have around an outcast. It's like they're so rejected that just saying their name feels dangerous. Like their identity itself has become a curse.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Why does this figure, the outcast, have so much power over us? Is it a smart, rational fear? Or is it something else? Something older, something wired right into our social DNA? Let's dig in and deconstruct this. Okay, so to really get a grip on this, we need to look at the actual places where this social drama unfolds. Because, rejection isn't some abstract idea. It happens in very real and often very painful arenas that we all have to navigate.
The first arena, and maybe the toughest, is the family. I mean, this is supposed to be our core tribe, right? Rejection here is just devastating. It can come from manipulation, from siblings constantly trying to one-up each other, or even from parents who, for whatever reason, turn one of their own kids into the villain of the family story. It's where love and loyalty get seriously tested.
And then, of course, you've got school. Oh man, the schoolyard. We have all been there. It's the classic battleground for social status, a mini society where being just a little bit different can paint a giant target on your back. It's really our first crash course in how the world works outside the safety of home, with all of its unwritten and unforgiving rules.
This is just a perfect example, and it's kind of hilarious, but also kind of dark. Remember the cheese touch from Diary of a Wimpy Kid? There's this moldy piece of cheese on the basketball court, and it becomes this symbol of, well, contamination. If you touch it, suddenly you become untouchable. It's a brilliant metaphor for how stigma works. It's totally arbitrary, it spreads like a virus, and it can turn someone into a pariah for basically no good reason.
And that brings us to the third big arena, the public sphere. And today that means the internet, social media, this high-stakes game of public reputation. The source material brings up cancel culture as a modern version of this, where public shaming can get really systematic, aiming to ruin a person's job, their livelihood, their future. The court of public opinion moves fast, and it rarely shows mercy.
All right, so we know the where, but what about the how? How does a reputation just crumble? Is it something you earn through your own mistakes, or is it something that's actively done to you? The origin story of that rejection, well, it changes everything.
That song asks the million-dollar question. How did the rumor spread? Who was the first person to point the finger? This question is so important because it forces us to look at a distinction that Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan talked a lot about, the huge difference between a reputation that you lose and one that is taken from you.
And this is where we get to this really key idea. On one side, you have an earned reputation. This is built on real stuff, on substance. And on the other side, you've got game status, which is all about manipulation and playing games to get ahead. These are two completely different paths.
An earned reputation. Man, you build that thing brick by brick. It comes from being genuinely good at what you do and from being a person of solid character over and over again. Peterson talks about this like storing up treasure in heaven. It's your social capital, and it's so real, so robust, that it can actually survive a catastrophe. It's the safest place you can put your wealth because it's genuinely yours.
Then you've got the total opposite of that, gamed status. This isn't about building anything real. It's about winning arguments, about scoring points. It's that kind of intellectual one-upmanship where someone's whole goal is to use insults and aggression to make you look bad, to get a dunk on you. But as Joe Rogan points out, even when you win that game, it just feels gross. It's a totally hollow victory. Emotionally unsatisfying.
So we're talking about all this external stuff, but what's actually going on inside of us when this happens? That fear of losing face, of being rejected, it's not just in your head. It's physical. It's biological. Let's take a look at the neurochemistry behind it.
And the science here is just fascinating. So as our social status goes up, our brain gets a nice boost of serotonin. This is the chemical that helps us feel good.
more positive emotions, less negative ones. It's a great deal. But when our reputation takes a nosedive, so do those serotonin levels. And that's when you feel it. The anxiety, the pain, the emotional chaos. Our brains are literally hardwired to climb that social ladder and to panic when we fall off.
And it makes perfect sense, right? The more you care about a group, your family, your friends, your colleagues, the more it's going to sting when they push you out. The pain of the rejection is directly proportional to how much you valued that group in the first place.
All right, so let's say it happened. You've been rejected, you've had that fall from grace. Now what? Well, there's no single easy answer, but the source material gives us 3 pretty distinct ways of thinking about it. 3 frameworks for how to respond. Let's walk through those.
So you've got 3 potential paths you can take. You can go the nihilist route, the hedonist route, or the positivist route. Each one is a totally different lens for making sense of what happened and figuring out how to move forward.
Okay, so let's break these down. First, the nihilist path. This is the idea that, hey, public opinion doesn't matter at all, unless it actually stops you from paying your bills. Then there's the hedonist path. This one's about finding the upside in the rejection. There's a weird kind of peace, almost a relief, in not having to protect a reputation anymore. The burden is gone. And finally, you've got the positivist path. This is more like a scientific approach. Analyze what happened, come up with a theory, test out some solutions, and, this is key, get help. Talk to your allies, your friends, a professional.
And really, that just brings us full circle, doesn't it? Back to what might be the best defense of all. No matter which path you take after you fall, the ultimate long-term strategy is to build something that people can't just take from you. To put it in Peterson's words, there isn't anything more valuable you can have, not even close. An earned reputation. That's your anchor in any storm.
So here's the question I want to leave you with. In a world that is just full of shortcuts and people playing status games, what is your reputation actually built on? Is it a house of cards, ready to blow over in the first wind? Or is it a fortress built on the solid ground of who you are and what you can do? Figuring that out might be the most valuable thing you ever do.